From KGW, this is The Good Stuff.
They really do balance out that sort of power dynamic and presence on the road.
Tonight on The Good Stuff, they look pretty much like a regular bike, but they have a battery-powered electric motor. We're talking about e-bikes. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. It is Good Energy Week at KGW, where we are highlighting greener alternatives at work in our community. Chris McGinnis talked to cyclists about the accessibility and benefits of an electric bike.
You get all the benefits you do of regular biking, and you get the added bonus of, a little bit extra power and a lot more ease of use and some better features on the bike.
Jonathan Moss is the publisher and editor of Bike Portland.
Like this one can go 28, and this one can only go like 19 to 20. It's just different class. Neither of them have throttle.
To go along with his collection of acoustics, or analogs, as some like to call the purely pedal-powered versions, Moss has a few e-bikes for hauling his gear to meetings all over town.
They really do balance out that sort of power dynamic and presence on the road that I think is so important for people to feel safe and to feel like they can share the road with other types of vehicles.
E-bikes now account for at least 17% of PBOT's latest bike count. And if the sales at Synergy e-bikes on Southeast Powell Boulevard are any sign,
the demand since COVID has kind of been on a strong upward spike from what I can tell.
They're popular.
If you were to get an e-bike, what would you mostly use it for?
I could see myself using an e-bike for the to and from work commute, going to get groceries, going to run errands.
This big yellow guy over here, Momentum Pack Yak, this bike has a weight capacity overall of about 375 pounds. This is what I would consider to be kind of like a do-it-all bike in my opinion. You've got nice high voluminous tires. Your power button is going to be this big, hard to miss power button right here on the down tube right above the battery cover. There's 3 levels of power: high, medium, and low. There is no horn on this one, we've got a bell.
Let's take this thing for a spin. Well, right away I can feel the assist kicking in.
Oh, absolutely. That smaller trigger closest to you, if you press that, that'll shift you into a higher gear. So make it a little bit harder to pedal, give you a little bit more speed.
Oh yeah, but I'm definitely cranking now.
Oh yeah.
Nixie Oliveri manages the shop, and he sells e-bikes to cyclists of all levels.
Oh wow.
I think e-bikes are for kind of everybody, really.
From hardcore cycling regulars to those with mobility challenges to the average Joe just trying to get to work.
A lot of people are, wanting to get away from cars because of traffic.
Are e-bikes a congestion solver?
I sure think so.
If you're curious, Nixie says go to a local shop and take a few test rides. He says a local dealer usually services the bikes they sell, so they may have safer, more reliable rides than those online deals. All right, back to cars, back to the steering wheel. We're talking about the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association's test drive event Sunday on Swan Island at Daimler Truck's North American headquarters. You'll have a chance to talk to owners, soak up all kinds of EV wisdom, and take a ride in 24 different EVs from BMW, Chevy, Hyundai, Tesla, and more. And a reminder, you can catch all of these good energy stories. Just whip out your smartphone, take a photo of that QR code on screen, and that will take you to our KGW.com Good Energy page. I'm Chris McGinnis.
Thanks a lot, Chris. And don't forget, tomorrow, Free Geek will be here at the KGW studios for an e-cycle event, as in e-recycle. You can drop off old laptops, desktops, or tablets if you like, and Free Geek will clean them. They'll wipe the hard drive and either refurbish it or safely recycle those items. For more information, head to our website at kgw.com/goodenergy. Well, on the topic of mobility, an Oregon man who became the first person in the state to walk with a high-tech exoskeleton is now sharing his journey and trying to help others as well. In 2009, Eric Himbert lost the ability to walk after a snowboarding accident. But for the past year, he's been using the ReWalk exoskeleton. It's a device that allows him to stand up and walk on his own.
All the servos and all the computer chips and everything in there, it's a full-on robot. I always tell people, if you're a runner, you get this kind of runner's high, where you go running in the morning and then the rest of the day you just feel great. That's kind of how I feel when I use this. I've been able to sleep through the night for the first time in 14 years since I've been hurt.
Well, saying something. Well, Himbert, who lives in Sisters, says kind of like him, the device is still evolving. The FDA just approved the machine for stair climbing, which is what he's working on now. He's also encouraging others living with disabilities to give it a try. A local nonprofit is launching a new mobile health program in Portland. Central City Concern says it's a way to help those who are homeless have access to health care. Deidre Johnson has the story.
And just like that, Central City Concern cuts the ribbon on their new mobile health program. It's a program that many say is way overdue for those experiencing homelessness.
A lot of hurting folks out in the street. And what we're seeing is, as we're meeting with some of these people have never connected with care at all. We're meeting people who have just never darkened our doors. And so we've realized we can't just sit in our brick and mortar and care for people. We have to get closer to them.
So now they're taking the care to the people.
So we have primary care providers who are out doing full assessments on people. We are doing a lot of wound care. We can do prescriptions, and we have a mental health nurse practitioner.
To make sure those experiencing homelessness get the care they need, there are 2 vans for the mobile health program, and they've got all the bells and whistles.
It has a full exam room in it. It has a bathroom. It has running water so we can keep our hands clean and washed. It also has a wheelchair access into the exam room.
People say it's great to see a program that can have a huge impact on the community.
It's really just important to meet people where they are and get out there and help people who are in need of help and need resources and people to encourage them.
And that will show people, no matter their situation, there are people that care.
So it's about the journey that we're taking with these people. We have outreach workers on our team as well. So some of it is just goodwill. It's just being a human with a human, right? And connecting.
Goodwill is always a good thing. Well, Intel is a brand new machine in Hillsboro. It says will put it far ahead of its competitors. And Pat Doris was the only local TV journalist to catch a glimpse. Check it out. It's called a lithography machine. It makes microscopic etchings to create advanced computer chips. Now keep in mind, semiconductor chips already hold millions of nano-sized transistors. Intel says this thing will print even smaller patterns, making the chips more powerful and cheaper. Put another way, the chips are so advanced they don't even exist yet. The $400 million machine is from a Dutch company and it's taken dozens of people months to assemble it and make sure it's ready to go.
Well, this is equipment that we've discussed with Intel and other customers for I think 10 years now. It's been a long time coming and we're very happy that it arrived here. And it helps Intel and other customers to move to the next production process or the next technology step, if you will.
You can hear the little Dutch accent there? Yeah, nice. Well, you can check out the full story and see Pat's visit. It's on our KGW YouTube page under the story. Well, coming up, we take a step into the beautiful nature of the Pacific Northwest and take in a little history at Silver Falls State Park. But before we go, let's check out Pioneer Courthouse Square. The bricks are wet, that's for sure. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is time again for us to get out there into the great outdoors. And today we hike out to Silver Falls State Park. On Wednesday, a team from Oregon State University was studying history with future in mind. John Goodwin explains.
The sights and sounds of Silver Falls State Park are unmistakable.
All right, taking off.
If you visited on Wednesday, it was a different story.
We're here to celebrate what we got and preserve it the best we can with the tools we have.
Oregon State University's new media communications program, we're using the past to plan for the future.
And we are digitally scanning the structures in the South Falls Historic District.
Todd Kesterson is the project director. The reality is, wildfires have crept pretty close to the park in recent years. With a grant from Oregon State Parks, this LiDAR technology is capturing 3D scans of the historic South Falls Lodge, Nature Store, and the Stone Kitchen. They were all built in the 1930s and 40s.
I call it sort of a digital insurance policy, you might say. You know, the risk of fires is significant, and you know, I can't do anything to control that, none of us can, but by scanning these structures, in the case of catastrophic loss, there is a very detailed data set that could be utilized to help reconstruct.
Do we have good blueprints in order to reconstruct them? And the answer is no, they were built before people really did thorough records of that.
Mike Olson is an OSU professor of geomatics. Think land surveying. Over the next several months, the images will be stitched together using these reference tags.
So to capture a building, we've got to go around and do several scans across the building. And so what the targets do is they're helpful reference marks to link the data together down to millimeter level accuracy. You're also getting information on all the vegetation and species around in the area, so it can be used by ecologists.
Usually it's a bad idea to let beavers around trees, but OSU got special permission to fly the drone, so don't get any ideas. No matter what's going on here, it's a great place to visit any time of year.
Come out, enjoy it, recognize, like with any place you love, that it can be gone at any point, and come out and celebrate what we have just while it's here.
At Silver Falls State Park, I'm John Goodwin. Let's get out there.
That is a beautiful place. And of course, we want to know your favorite outdoor spots and see your pictures as well. You can share them with us anytime by texting 503-226-5088. Well, the old saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And an artist from New Jersey is taking that literally. A look at some of his work when we return. But first, let's take you out to the coast with our Cannon Beach Sky Cam. It's drizzly out there for sure. It's been raining a lot today. Maybe a little break, though, from the heavy rain at the moment. It's always beautiful at the coast for sure. We're back in less than 3 minutes. Well, our next story takes us all the way across the United States to New Jersey, where a man spends each morning picking up trash that has washed ashore or was left behind by beachgoers. He then transforms that trash into works of art that are now on display. Ted Greenberg introduces us to the artist.
He sets out from home about 40 minutes before the sun comes up.
This is my favorite part.
A daily 3.5 to 4 mile walk that's therapeutic for Eduardo Jimenez.
This is like medicine for me.
It's an exercise that contrasts the beauty of a new day along the sand in Brigantine with the ugliness of improperly discarded garbage.
Other people can see the example and do better.
His beach walks began in the early days of the pandemic. Working out at the gym wasn't an option.
You see that blue?
Ever since, he's been scanning the sand for litter, picking up piece after piece. Eduardo documents his finds with photos, then transforms the trash into temporary compositions shared on social media. Depictions of marine life crafted with balloons, plastic bags, cigarette butts, and other waste to highlight the critical need for coastal conservation.
I start using Instagram to promote the awareness of trash on the beach every single day.
The garbage he collects goes back to his garage. Much of it he'll dispose of properly.
Maybe that could be the eye.
The rest upcycled to form permanent pieces of art.
Since 2020, I probably made 100 art pieces.
His dedication to the environment was honored this year with an award from the New Jersey Clean Communities Council. Eduardo's work has been showcased in local exhibitions. Seaside Salvage is currently on display at the Brigantine Community School.
Seeing the work that he's done with the pollution on the beaches, I think it's very important for our scholars to see that, to see what can be transformed into something better.
Eduardo's collection efforts take him off the beach as well. He uses wooden pallets from construction sites that had been thrown away to make the frames for his artwork.
I'm not gonna clean the whole planet out of trash, but at least I'm doing my little part.
His creativity is fed by tossed materials that he hopes one day will no longer be.
How about a wish of never finding trash?
In endless supply.
This is beautiful stuff, and as producer Reese said in my ear, we need more people like that in this world. I agree, 100%. Well, still ahead, a sneak peek at this weekend's TEDx event as we talk with a local artist whose work has been seen on a global scale. But first, a live look at our reserve golf course Skycam. Hey, and the sun is making its daily journey below the horizon, getting through the clouds. That's really great to see. We're back in just a moment. Welcome back to The Good Stuff. Well, all this week we've been highlighting several speakers for this year's TEDx Portland, happening Saturday at the Keller Auditorium. The event will feature creators, innovators, and rising stars who represent the magic and culture of our community. Tonight, China Green introduces us to Michael Curry.
I started as an artist. I was a sculptor and painter here in Portland. Simple trajectory. I wanted to be Picasso, and I moved to New York City and found theater, or theater found me somehow.
One of the most famous and sought-after live entertainment creative directors in the past 3 decades is based out of Scappoose, Oregon.
I've been fortunate to be able to focus on characters and these unique puppets, costumes, visual effects that focus on beauty and sculptural excellence.
Michael Curry is an award-winning visual concept designer whose puppetry has changed the entertainment world.
Puppetry is your closest chance of recreating computer-generated effects, the fantasy worlds that today's cinema has. If you're going to interpret those in a live performance, puppetry is a very good solution for it.
You've seen his iconic work, from designing the puppets and character effects in The Lion King to Olympic opening ceremonies to just about every Vegas show.
And then in Super Bowls, the most widely viewed one was the Katy Perry lion from the Super Bowl, and that was created here in Scappoose.
And even
Taylor Swift's tour.
Yes, Taylor Swift. You've seen his work somewhere. You just didn't know it.
This reminds me of SW in Vegas at the Wynn.
That's my show.
Really?
Yeah, the Lake of Dreams. Those are my.
Okay, well that makes sense.
This is what we're doing there.
All of his projects are important, but this latest one.
This is Oregon's finest cultural amenity.
Is personal.
And make you start appreciating the Portland that we used to love, that was keep Portland weird, the sort of quirkiness, you know? It has to be redefined.
He's talking about the redesign he's leading for the Keller Auditorium, making it the centerpiece of the neighborhood.
You know, it was built for the purpose of letting live entertainment and music have its best version of itself.
And his vision for the Keller, for the city, will soon take center stage there, literally.
This year, TEDx approached me and had a very interesting proposition. Instead of talking about my process and my creativity, we'll talk about how the creative community can have a great benefit on the civic community.
He'll lay it all out at TEDx this Saturday inside the Keller.
So I'm going to use the idea, the call to action for creatives, to start really imagining that they could have a great deal to do with the success and the aspirational qualities of a city.
Which includes the people in the community doing their part.
I'm constantly surprised by the effort people will put into decorating or finding the feng shui of their own homes, but somehow they think outside their homes that's somebody else's responsibility. So it's a sense of citizenry and ownership.
Owning what you're passionate about to make a real difference.
What's interesting about passion, others recognize it and it starts elevating their own life. And you have a movement.